I'll be honest. I started watching season 1, episode 1 for 10 minutes before I realized that was season 1, episode 1 and not season 2. But I was I was like, wow, the whole cast is back, huh? And we're still in France. I could have sworn they were going to Italy. Not until that realization that they were not in Italy. I was like, oh, wait a minute.
The hell is Steven doing here?
It's like, wow.
Although I
everyone's
will
coming.
say, I will tell you right now, I'm gonna miss Steven. I'm definitely gonna miss Steven.
You know who
Although
I'm going to miss?
Hagen is incredible.
Hagen's amazing. But you know who I'm going to miss?
Who?
Eric.
Bros and shows. I gotta have me my bros and shows. Bros and shows. Bros and shows. I gotta have me my bros and shows.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Bros and Shows. I'm your co-host, Steele Russell, joined as always by the one and only Castello McGootre.
I thought you were just gonna go with Old Faithful with Villa Goots.
Villa Goots. Yeah, well, we're in Italy now, and they did such a fucking bang-up job of changing Chateau Rosabelle to like Castello. It was the laziest name change ever. So I gave
Stella
you a lazy
Rosato. Yeah.
which is the same thing. Come on, can we be a little bit more
know
creative
this.
here?
Yeah, we know this. Look, this is going to be difficult from a name standpoint.
Oh my
There
god,
are
there's so many
a
people.
lot of new faces, and then they had to give us people with almost the exact same names, which is hella confusing. And yeah, look, it's such an enjoyable show. It's just
That
such
is.
a great throw on in the background. Hopefully enough of you, I know there's a lot of people that listened to our recaps last year that weren't actually watching the show.
Mm.
Hopefully you did yourself a favor and started tuning in like Steele did to season 1, episode 1.
Well, did they drop all of them? They're all out, right?
They're all out. And this is what pisses me off. And this is, obviously we're still going to do our recap. We're still going to get into it. We're going to figure out the structure, how we're going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
We might do a couple episodes where it's 2 together. We'll see how it goes. But from a like marketing standpoint, why would Hulu do this? I don't understand why they wouldn't just drop like 2 or 3, get people into it, get their beaks wet, and then do a week to week, because it allows people to talk about it. And if you think about it, like all of the big shows that we watch now, they go week to week so that we have a week to talk about them. Where's the discourse? You know what I mean? So if you drop them all at once, people are going to forget about it in a couple of weeks. And I just think it's stupid.
Is Mormon Wives drop 3 then every week? Is that right? Didn't that?
That one's going to be a little different because they re-aired that the first season on ABC. So I don't know what they're going to do when it comes to season 2. I haven't seen if all 10 episodes are going to drop, but that has been Hulu's MO. So I wouldn't be surprised.
It's just a weird thing. I saw an article. It's interesting you said that about how Netflix is dropping the ball because they continue to do that, and they're not switching
season
back
5
to
of You. Season 5 of You dropped on
Right.
Thursday night. And did I watch it? Yes, I watched all of it, but they shouldn't do that. They should do, and I know they're like leaning into the first and second part. Like Squid Games was the first couple episodes, and they're going to do like 6 episodes in July. Yeah, same with Stranger Things. So that's probably a smarter approach, but I don't know. I just don't get it.
Do you realize that the show has been in our screeners for like a month and a half, right?
Yeah, but then when you told me that, I looked and I didn't see screeners, and I guess I lost access, and I didn't feel like making a stink about it. So I'll definitely make a think about it when there is a show, but it was like a week or 2, so I just waited.
That's fair. All right, that's fair. But yeah, back to Villa. Let's make sure, if you're new to this, if you're not watching and you're listening, first of all, just go watch. It's so goddamn easy to watch. Like, do yourself a favor. But second, let's make sure that we're watching this show under the right perspective. Okay. This is not to be taken too seriously. I already had people in the DMs earlier that were like, it seems really scripted and overproduced. Yes. Okay. You're going to get LVP has her hands all over this, and that's okay.
It is, but it isn't.
I know, because they're such idiots that it's not.
Yeah. And look, if you go back and you watch all of season 1 and then you start off with season 2, you're going to realize what I'm saying when I tell you it's not really scripted. These people are just that crazy, that stupid, and that insane. That's just who they are. Yeah.
Like last year, like Eric, the manager who had no business managing anybody, was a lunatic, like genuinely. And he took his shirt off and was drinking during one of the parties. It's complete debauchery, but it's very enjoyable. Just don't come into this with like any kind of serious note. You have to watch this purely for entertainment and laughing. And most importantly, we get the return of Stassi Schroeder to our screens, and Bo, who I love. I love Bo. I'm glad he's back. So there's a lot to dive into here. These breakdowns are going to be a little bit more fun because that's what this show is, which we love good, because we always have like shows that we take too seriously. We know other people don't take them as seriously as we do. But it's nice to have one of these in there where it's just a silly, fun time in Italy.
Silly, goofy time. Yeah.
It's silly, goofy time with the bros. So buckle up, everybody. Let's jump in to, what is it? Castello Rosato or something?
Yep. That's the one.
Okay. That's lazy. It's just lazy. But I will say this. I fucking love Italy. I think it's the most amazing place. I went there on my honeymoon. It's so cool. The castles, the towns, Orvieto. I love it. So I'm glad we're in Italy. And it took me, like I said, a long time to realize that. But we get the cast and like the staff orientation. It's going to take us a while to name all the characters, because I also don't appreciate that they drop new people. They're characters. Okay. They are fucking characters. They are, even in real life, they could be 100% genuine.
Yeah.
These people are fucking characters.
Except for Chef Anthony. He's a serious
Protect
dude.
him at all costs. I fucking love Chef Anthony. He's great. But we start out with Ashley and Bridget. Bridget's a sous chef, hard quotes. She was sous chef. She worked at a Michelin star restaurant. She's underestimated her whole life.
Did she say Suge? I think she said Suge. Suge chef.
She doesn't Suge chef. That's not good.
She was nervous.
Do you know how big of a deal it is to finally get the ranking of sous chef? Like, it's a really fucking big deal in the culinary world.
Apparently not.
That's my point. Immediately, I'm like, oh no, you have to know what a sous chef is to be one. It's very hard.
Well, to her credit, they are in Italy and not in France. If they were in France, I feel like she would have gotten it right.
Sous is universal. There's a sous chef
in France.
Sure,
but it's a French word.
Okay, cool. It's across the board. A sous chef is second in command. You are literally.
Hey, look, she's already having a really hard time. I just don't feel like bringing it down on her anymore.
Just don't kick some other down.
Yeah,
that's fine. She's not going to get back up. But hey, whatever. We got Hagen, who right out of the gate, he quit finance to be there. Like 9 to 5 not for me.
Pictures that he put.
They're so fucking funny. Like I wanna be in that office, walking by his cubicle. Like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
Posing.
Like if you're not watching YouTube, you're missing out big time. He's literally like this.
I was just there to stunt. I was there to show off, flex a little bit. I had great fits, polos, khakis.
Has no interest in the 9 to 5 life, which is great for us because I think he's going to be a star.
Like you said, could you imagine being in that office? I can't imagine being in an office with somebody like Hagen, who I'm walking by just like either miserable or thinking about something, and he's just flexing, taking pictures, and then doing the shit that we watch on the shelf. Like, who are you?
He's great. He's going to be a star, dude.
Yeah.
He's going to be a fucking star. But Dominic Cook, he's in the kitchen. We got a big kitchen staff, which I love. I'm excited for that because shit's always going to pop off in the kitchen.
We also got a big I'm walking here from Dominic.
Oh god, that I don't think I'm going to like Dominic. I don't think
Why?
I got it.
You don't like New York Italians? What's your deal?
No. It's not that. It's the trope that he's leaning so very heavily into. I'm like, I think he's kind of a dweeb. We'll see.
That's fine. Yeah.
And like the way that he approaches the situation with Hannah was fucking, that's crazy. It's fucking crazy for somebody to do that. Funny. But we got some returning cast members. We got Andre's coming back. Love Andre. Glad he's back. Gabriella, she's great. Stoked that she's back. Andre and Gabriella last season had something for a while. Mm-hmm. And like we had all these scenes where they're getting closer. It was more of a romantic relationship than like a summer fling. So but coming into this,
they started off by saying, you know, we talked a lot. We're still trying to figure out what we are and where we go with this. It's been a year.
I know.
What do you mean you're still trying to figure it out?
I'm glad you, because when they said that, I'm like, okay, hold on. Have you guys put it on pause since? Yes. Is this like a summer pause back to the summer?
Has to be.
Right? That's what I thought. Yeah. I'm like, so we're picking up where we left off and seeing what happens. Okay.
I'm trying to remember back to the reunion at the end of season 1. They did say that they were still talking and like hanging out, but they were like, there's nothing here. We haven't defined anything. But now we're a year later and they're like, we're still trying to figure out exactly where we are. And as you keep watching this show, you're like, all right, what are you guys
They're
doing?
not really
What is
together.
this?
I don't.
Yeah.
It's very, very strange. I was actually surprised that Marciano walks back into this place. Mark, and by the way, for anybody listening, and I did it all last season, Mark. I'm not saying Marciano every time.
Why?
So Mark is Marciano.
Why were you surprised? Because you didn't read the cast, or because...
I didn't read the cast. I did
Okay.
not read the cast. So that's
so
why.
all of these were surprises for you.
Yeah, it was great. I
Wow.
actually I did it intentionally.
Oh,
I wanted
man,
this
that's
season to be a
cool.
100% who's coming back, and I did it
Good for you.
intentionally. I did no prior research other than watch the first 10 minutes of last season today. But yeah, I wanted it all
research. Yeah.
Yeah, that was unintentional. The rest was intentional, where I wanted to see, okay, who's coming back, who made it back, because I had little bets in my head. I'm like, there's no way as a business owner, regardless of TV, that you can afford to bring somebody like Marciano back. Sure enough, Mark comes back. He, for those that are unacquainted, is an absolute shithead, just ticking time bomb, has no emotional regulation whatsoever. And his counterpart, Hannah, comes back. They are literally Stassi and Jax from seasons 1 and 2 of Vanderpump Villa, which is even funnier that you get a call back from Stassi this episode where it's like, oh God, I'm having PTSD. I'm like, yeah, so are we. But they're both back. Stunning. Absolutely stunning.
And little did she know that this week we would have had to watch The Valley. So we would have seen a little bit more and questioned, I wonder what it was like when Stassi was dating him. So, yeah.
Yep. But don't worry. Marciano, he started his DJ career, as they all tend to do for some reason.
That's the
and
new
he's
big
a
thing.
changed man. He's dialed in this year. All right. And
the new Marciano.
He's the new Marciano. Did it
Have
really?
you noticed the name tags? You haven't noticed? Oh, you haven't noticed any of the name
because
tags?
I got right during confessionals.
Oh, dude, they're the best. I'm not kidding you. You have to pay attention to the name tags because they keep changing them. I'll give you one more little example. When Marciano's talking about Stassi later, they change his name tag to Stassi's big fan. And then as he keeps getting into
Stassi's #1 fan.
then it goes into Stassi's #1 fan. Yeah, it's
it evolved? I just saw Stassi's #1 fan. Good for them. Yeah. That's what's funny, and I remember that from last season about this show. The producers don't take it too seriously either.
No.
Like the editors and everybody, it's all kind of a tongue-in-cheek show. So make sure we're watching it that way, everyone. But don't worry, because Hannah's over it. Look, Marciano and I are just friends. He's a DJ. That's gross. I can't even believe that. I hooked up with him. Ew, all that. I'm like, no way. This is how last season started, too. You guys were on the outs. You didn't care anymore. It's going to fucking blow up. And we saw the same. And this was funny to me because things started coming back as I was watching. And it's like Marciano did this. And I keep calling him Marciano now. It's stuck in my head instead of Mark. But he did the same shit last year as far as apologies go, if you remember. Because he goes up immediately to Gabriella and Grace. He had shit with both of them last season multiple times. And he gives an apology. If you watch the first season, he does this to everybody. If he will always put his foot in his mouth and do something dumb, and then he'll walk it back with the most overzealous apology ever, where it's he's trying to say all the right things to the point that it's disingenuous. I'm like, okay, good. He hasn't changed at all. That's good for us.
The only person that he doesn't really apologize to is Hannah. And that's saying something, because he'll go deep into an apology with all of them. The obvious, choice for the big apology that actually might mean something is when he apologizes to Lisa for his behavior. And that's just because he's afraid of being sent home. But Hannah's the one who, and so far from what I've seen this season, he hasn't really done a whole lot to Hannah, but she's still going after him and he's still not apologizing for anything. So he apologizes for everybody else.
Just not her, but that's never going to happen.
Not her. Yeah.
But the whole cast is getting acquainted. Everyone's saying hi. And you can tell that the newcomers all watched last season. They all know who the returning cast members are, which I'm not actually against. I'm like, I like that there's
on a
fans
show like
of the
this.
show.
No.
Yeah, it's different than a housewife show when a fan comes onto that. I'm okay with the setup for this.
It's good for this because people like Marciano and Hannah, they will have that same energy. I know you watched me on TV last year. That's how you know who I am. And that's going to go right to their head, which is going to create even more chaotic behavior, which is going to make the show better. So I love it.
I do too. I think it's perfect for this. But Hannah immediately clocks Bridget. Okay, that's Marciano's type. So need to make friends with her real quick. She's like, hey, why don't we be roommates? And I was like, wow, that's a move. And she's like,
keep an eye on her.
Yeah, and Bridget's like, oh, it's great. I like have a friend already. I'm so excited. And Hannah's like, I'm making sure that she doesn't fuck Marciano. That's the only reason that
That's
I'm being
all I'm
nice to
doing
this
here.
person. But LVP enters. I love that we have stakes this season. It makes it so much better.
We done it all last year. We were like, they should be competing for a spot to go play. This is
Go
how we're doing this.
play.
To go work at one of the Vanderpump restaurants. That's what we want. Go work for somewhere in Vegas. Go work somewhere in LA. I don't care where it is, but there should be something there. They did have a I don't think it was 30,000, but they did have like a $20,000 prize or something last year.
Okay, I didn't know
And
that.
I think Andre was the one who won it.
Oh, good
which
for him.
Andre's he's just delightful.
He is. He's a delightful man. But this year, job for best employee at one of her best establishments and 30 grand in a bonus. So the stakes are high, which means you're not going to get their best effort. It's not going to happen. Okay. You're going to see the worst servers you've ever seen in your life. You're going to see the worst customer service you've ever seen in your life. And for whatever reason, they're going to keep coming back every week and they're going to claim we're getting better. And then everything's going to blow up, which is why we love this show so much. But it's their first night there. So LVP's like, look, go get acquainted. Go to Orvieto, not Orvieto, Orvieto, and check out the town. Go have some wine, some pasta, hang out. You crazy kids, get out of here. And they do. And we jump into this so fast.
Oh, yeah.
Like before meeting anybody, we're interacting with cast members who are interacting with each other. It was confusing, but I also like that we're not doing a bunch of preamble.
I prefer it this way because I thought that this entire first episode was going to be like, here's the backstory. And they did a lot of backstory. And I've seen, what's the bartender's name? Lexi, I want to say.
Yeah, Lexee.
Lexee. Yes. Yeah, the Hawaiian one. I've heard her Hawaiian backstory 3 times now. Episodes. So they keep doing it. I don't know why they're doing it. But I am happy that they did that because we don't need a ton of backstory. These people are characters. They will get into shit immediately. They will get to know each other very quickly. And then things will pop off very quickly. So let's just throw them in that environment right away. We don't need the preamble for a show like this. So I love it.
Nope. And as you pointed out, Ciati has a crush on Grace. So Ciati is one of the servers, I believe, or is he activities?
Ciati is activities. Him and Tyler are activities.
That's right. But he also seemed to help out with like setting things up a little bit.
Well, activities is a new job this year because they didn't have that last year.
That was Eric last year.
Eric was manager.
But also in charge of activities. That's why he would always move
That's
why he would always move the outings. And LVP would be pissed. Why did we put this here? Well, Eric told us to.
Oh God, dude.
I miss Eric already.
Him and Tyler are in charge of activities because I thought it was kind of weird when we met Ciati. He immediately starts with, "We're gonna play so many different games," and I'm like, "What are you, like the game master?" And he is actually the game master. So yeah,
he is. It reminds me of Club Dread. Remember that? Movie?
Yeah.
Where he what's his nuts is the activities leader, or the fun police or something like that. But anyway,
Farva?
No, Farva played.
I don't remember. The funny thing is, I don't know any of those guys' names. The what is it? Broken Arrow? Is that there?
That's Kevin Heffernan.
Okay,
is Farva.
Not Doug Heffernan.
No, who's Doug Heffernan? What's going over my head?
It's Kevin James's character from that UPS show.
Oh,
King of Queens.
Doug
Heffernan. Yeah.
My God. We're going way back in the vault right now. But
showing our age.
Let's get back on task. We got everyone's hanging out. Hagen, I love that he points this out because he's 100% right. There's way too many couples right now. There's way too many couples. We need to break some of these people up so there can be more chaos in this house. And there will be. There definitely will not be.
You don't
couples.
have to worry about that. It's actually better that there are couples because they will break apart very fast.
What's the over-under on the couples making it like out of this show?
What qualifies as making it? Like we get to the reunion and they're still like where Andre and Gabrielle were last year.
Yeah.
2. It's probably still going to be Andre and Gabrielle again. Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think
they will be. They always come back to each other.
I don't know if anyone's gonna. They're always. Everyone knows.
No, I'm gonna say those 2, and then I don't know about Ciati and Ciana.
That's gonna be
that was really gonna bother me. Like, of course they had to fucking hook up too. Like, you gotta be
night 1 too. By the way,
out of my face. Get out of my face with your same name bullshit. I'm already gonna have a hard time. Now you're gonna be together.
What if we just like CC, if we're talking about both of them.
CC, I'm in.
The CC, yeah.
Count me in.
All right, cool. That makes it easier for us. But Marciano, right out of the gate, starts flirting with Bridget. And Hannah's just like clocking her, just staring across, like staring a hole through her. And this was the weirdest shit I've ever seen. Dominic walks up. He doesn't know Hannah. He just met Hannah. He just met everybody else. And he walks up to Marciano and goes, Hannah looks sad. Hannah's pissed. He's like, okay. Marciano's the same guy. Okay, anything else? Anything else? Well, no, I guess not. Why would you do that? Who does
Deep down too, Marciano probably loves that too. He's like,
oh, he loves it.
This guy knows who I'm with. He knows my ex. He's watching her, so I don't have to coming over to report to me. So now when Hannah flips out on me, I can just say it was Dominic. This is going to work out great for me.
It was just bizarre. Like this little white knight out of nowhere. I'm like, dude, you way less. Like,
but that was exhibit A of these newbies watched the show or at least knew what was going on.
Yeah.
Knowing about that and talking about it and then seeing it and being like, ooh, I got to get involved.
Got to jump in immediately because I want to hook up with Hannah and I got to get Marciano out of here. Like, but you can tell Dominic pretty confident he's going to play a numbers game. He's going to cast a wide net and just hope that he hooks up with somebody. Yeah. And Hannah was his first target. It goes horribly because now Bridget goes over to Hannah to talk to her, and she's like, "Hey, I heard you're pissed." And she's like, "No, I'm not.
Couldn't care less about Marciano. I
don't care.
You said anything about Marciano? I don't know what you're talking about.
Marciano.
Who?
They just said you're pissed.
Yeah, I don't care about him.
Yeah, whatever.
While we're on the subject, what's he doing?
Yeah, where's Dominic? Bring that little fucker over here." And then she starts yelling at him like, my favorite thing, and she does the same shit because she said it last year. I'm not the one. I'm not the fucking one. It's like, anytime I've seen you in like a verbal altercation with somebody, very rarely have you come out on top.
Yeah, but I see, this is why I love Hannah, especially for TV. She knows that she's psychotic. She understands that she's crazy as shit. And she will finally come down like a few minutes afterwards and just apologize, be like, whoa, that was kind of crazy. Huh?
Shit really got off the handle.
And then she'll move on. And it's just her the entire time. Like she could go off on a tangent screaming at everybody for 30 minutes and then look at everybody else and look like Ron Burgundy with like a glass of whiskey and be like, whoa, that kind of escalated fast, guys, huh?
That got
like, we didn't say a word to you. You just yelled at us.
Yep, 100%. But again, White Knight Dom, he's like, that guy is toxic as shit. Don't put this on me. She's not. You did. Yeah. You put yourself into this mess. If you watch the first season, why on earth would you want to get in between these two? No. It's a disaster.
They're going to implode regardless. Just let them. You just 100%. Watch it from afar.
But we get to the next morning. Nothing super crazy happens other than that. And we get to the staff meeting once again. And Marciano claims New Year. Lisa's my only priority. I want to show her what a good worker I am, which is verbatim the shit he said last season. Hannah, same thing. New me, new year. Not going to fuck this up. So excited to be here. Blah, blah, blah. That sets the table for everything. LVP enters. And we get the rundown. And this is why we like this show. It's kind of like the on-land version of Below Deck a little bit. You have a guest coming in. This time we have a residential guest coming in. Who could it be? Stassi and Bo. And then you have a guest that's coming for the weekend or whatever the following day. So their test run is Stassi and Bo, which is great. So we're doing a T
and Ken.
And Ken. That's right. We get a Ken shout out, which doesn't say much, which is I wish he just reprised his role from I heard that he was in the hot tub with
I need him involved with Hannah and Marciano immediately.
Just one thing, right?
Just I don't care what it is. Just do something. I do also love Stassi and Ben are showing up with their kids, their nanny.
Bo.
Oh yeah.
Don't you call him Ben?
Bo and Ken mixed together became Ben.
Okay, fine. I'll give you
Yeah, that's all that was. But they're showing up with their kids, the nanny, and the nanny's kid. Love that.
Why not? Bring the whole crew. Why not?
It's not like these crazy people are going to watch your kids.
I don't think you want them to watch your kids. I think that'd be a really bad idea. They'd be doing Chef Anthony, but then he would have them like he'd have them in line. He would just those kids would be
they would do a lot better than Bridget.
Yes, chef. That would actually probably be better. But the kitchen is shaping up to be, dare I say, a hot zone.
Quite the hot zone indeed. I do
Quite.
love that they did get a much bigger kitchen though. That kitchen in France last year was so small,
It was like
so
a
tiny,
closet.
and it had no ventilation, and it was hot as balls in there. At least
Yeah,
now they've got like a big industrial size kitchen, kind of.
they do. That's a full
Yeah.
size kitchen. They got the family dinner table for the chefs before service. They have it all. So Anthony's gotten a bump up. He deserves it. Anthony's great. Kitchen's insane. We got a bigger staff. Bridget, the sous, okay? And for
Suge.
people, Suge, if you aren't like genuinely, if you don't know how kitchens run, like head chef overseas, sous chef is the head chef's brain. Like the sous needs to know everything the chef wants so that he doesn't have to ask about stupid shit. And Bridget doesn't even know how to turn anything on. She
Yeah,
can't put
this
on the
was
sink.
insane.
It was
It's
crazy.
I was trying to rack my brain for like reasons why this happened. And I'm like, look, it sounds like maybe you and Anthony just didn't sit down and talk about things before, but she seemed to know nothing about how a kitchen was run. I'm like,
Zero.
what is this? Everybody's confused. You worked at a Michelin star restaurant, which we talked about last week for whatever reason. Why did we talk about that? We were talking about the roadmap, the Michelin roadmap.
Oh, where Michelin
Remember that?
stars come from.
Yeah, we just started talking about them for some reason.
Isn't that weird?
And here we go. Now we know. And yeah, so it seemed like she had no idea how a kitchen operated. But also, did she just think going in here like everything that they do is just for show and it's not real? Like, yes,
Apparently.
obviously, I'd rather be a server or a housekeeper or whatever, or head of activities for sure, that I would be working in the kitchen because those are the only people that actually work during
That's the
these things.
serious job. Yeah, is the kitchen.
Yeah. So how are you not going in there before you came the day before or that morning and looking around like, all right, this is the kind of stove
Get
that
the
we have.
layout.
Here we go. How do I turn the fucking water on? I don't know. Let's figure this out. How do I make sure that I put a timer on the oven so I don't burn everything? I don't know. Figure it out. It was so crazy to me that she just walked in there and was like, I don't know where anything is.
It's
You didn't look?
insane. Like, not to make it about me, but when I'm doing a private dinner in somebody's kitchen, the first of all, I arrive way earlier than I need to be there. And the first thing I do is open every cabinet and find everything I possibly
Mhm.
need. So I'm not scrambling during service. It's like
I'm sure
the number
Anthony
one
did.
thing.
There's
Of
no
course he
chance that
did.
Anthony didn't. Yeah.
Of course, he knows every inch of that kitchen already, and you would expect your sous to know the same shit. So it's fucking astounding. She doesn't know how to turn on a sink, oven, doesn't know how to peel carrots correctly.
It's awesome.
It's a fucking nightmare, and it's so good. It's so good, but not nearly as good as the fact that Ciotti faked an English accent,
Mhm.
or he's faking an American accent now. I don't know. I'm assuming
It's
he faked the British
a
accent.
bit of both.
It's
He is from the story that he
Nottingham.
told Lisa.
I'm from Nottingham. Just
The story
outside
that
of
he told
Nottingham.
Lisa is true,
Okay.
but he's doing an American accent because everybody else has American accents.
Wait. Is that a theory, or do you know this to be
That's
true?
No, this is true. This
How
is
do you
why
know
he's
that?
doing it. He talks about it in the second episode.
Oh, okay. What a
yeah.
weird choice.
Yeah. And like
Why?
Lisa gave him the option, like, hey, what happened to your English accent? And he goes, yeah, I'm doing the American thing now. Like, I'm a bit of both. And she's like, what? And she's like, are you
No.
gonna drop this American accent? And he goes, not right now. And she's like, okay, see you later. And just walks away and he just keeps it. It is bizarre.
That's the weirdest shit ever.
Yeah, I can't wait.
can't
I'm
do that.
sure I'm really hoping that this turns into something else where like the rest of the crew finds out because I don't think they know. Like maybe Tyler might know because he's getting close to him, but I hope the rest of the crew finds out because when the other lunatics find out that he's actually from England doing an American accent, they're gonna lose their shit.
It's gonna be blown way out of proportion.
Yeah, it's
for
gonna
no
be
reason
what else are you
whatsoever.
lying about? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't feel safe around you now. CC2,
CC2, yep.
one of the CCs is gonna be mad. She's like, I don't even know who I'm sleeping with now. Are you American or are you British? That's such a weird choice.
It's
What a
so weird.
strange thing to do. I love it, but whatever. But Stassi and Bo arrive with their nanny's kid, their kids, everybody's there. And Marciano is apparently her number one fan. Who knew? And Stassi, 3 months out of the year, wants to be in Italy. Bo is an Italian citizen through his parents, I believe. And
Mhm.
I didn't realize, and I like this weird kind of aspect of this show, is it's also about just Stassi and Bo. Like they're there, and Stassi takes on a role, as we find out later, of being somewhat of like, I guess, the snooper. She's Snoopy.
Yeah,
this.
she's almost like the manager, but
Yeah,
she's
she's
not
the
actually doing any
overseeing
managing.
things, I
Yeah,
guess,
she's just going to be floating around, I think, and just talking to people about what's going on, trying to
and
get
finding the
like their
drama.
feelings, finding the drama, of course. Obviously we get a little bit more insight when she has to sit down with Lisa, but yeah, that's pretty much the gist of her role.
Yeah, it's interesting, but she's still clamoring for that approval. She needs that validation from LVP. And as we know, her departure from Vanderpump Rules was not good of her own doing. And she has had a lot of ground to make up. It is not our decision whether or not you at home have forgiven her for what happened. But she's back on our screens nonetheless. And she's still clamoring for LVP to just say, I'm proud of you. It's a mother-daughter fucked up relationship. And she just wants LVP to be proud. But let's get back to the kitchen. Okay, because shit's popping off in the kitchen. Anthony's just asking for things to be done. And Bridget's talking back about literally everything. He's like, the carrots were wrong, do them again. Well, we did them already. And Ashley, who's a cook with no culinary background, but she is not a sous chef. She's a cook in the kitchen with no culinary background and unequivocally understands how kitchens operate way more.
Because she was in the kitchen with her grandma, which, if you've ever been in a kitchen with your grandma before, you learn very quickly.
You don't fuck around.
Some shit wrong, you are going to get yelled at. So yeah, figure it out. Yep.
Yeah, so I would imagine that Bridget gets replaced. I know that she goes in. I'm at her walking into LVP's office for that meeting at the end of episode 1. So you probably have more info. Don't spoil that one for me. But the kitchen's a disaster. And I love it.
It really is. Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. But let's get to LVP and Stassi having tea. Why are you back? And these are the produced, like if it's LVP scenes, they're probably scripted.
They're produced as hell. Yep.
Yeah.
And it's just like a heads up. It's the cat. It's usually LVP with one of the people from whoever's staying there. So when Mom Talk comes in, she'll sit down with Taylor. Fuck, I can't.
Taylor and Green. Taylor.
Nope.
It's a boy name. Frankie Paul. Taylor Frankie Paul.
Frankie Paul.
Taylor Ann Green is no longer on our screen.
Yep. So she's going to be sitting down with Taylor Frankie Paul, probably talking about Mom Talk, filling her in, probably explaining what TikTok is to LVP. That's going to be really fun. But she does it every time, and it is highly produced. So those are the produced scenes. The rest, not so much.
Yeah. So just take it with a grain of salt. Take it for what it is. And you can tell they took, probably 3, 4, 5 takes to get all of this shit. But it's okay because she's like, why are you back? Stassi's like, I didn't ask to leave. She didn't. She was kicked off the show. But her career since her departure of Vanderpump Rules has flourished. Like she has a very successful podcast. She's written a couple of books. I think one of them's a bestseller. Don't quote me on that, but I do believe it was. She's done a lot. She's done a lot to really have a very good career and make a ton of money and be successful. So coming back to this is somewhat of a full circle moment for her to finally get that pat on the back that she's been so longing for her entire life or since she's known Lisa. That's what this is about. This is her chance to be like, she is proud of me. Thanks, Lisa.
Thanks, Mom, Lisa.
Thanks, Ma. I love you, Ma, Lisa. But that's where Lisa fills her in about this is your role. I want you to snoop. You're going to pretty much manage the back of house. That's what I want you to do. I want you to be my eyes and ears because I have to jump on the phone and take care of England or fucking American business, whatever I do at night because 9 hours, whatever. So that's the roles that we're setting up. Everyone cool? Cool. We get to the first dinner. So that is Stassi, Bo, Ken, and Lisa, and we're setting up for this is where we get Ciati and Aiden, who I didn't know was part of the house until this scene. And Aiden is a fucking weirdo because Ciati's setting up for service.
Aiden gets weirder, by the way, so just prep for that.
Great, can't wait for that. And Ciati's stressed a little bit. He's like, "Hey, can you go grab Gabriella? Tell her I need this." And he's like, "Hey, bro, hey, man," and touches. Don't break the touch.
Oh, I thought that was Tyler.
No, that was Aiden.
That was Aiden?
Oh. Yeah, because Tyler...
I'm already confusing Tyler. Yeah, I'm already confusing Tyler and Aiden.
Okay, because if it was Tyler, they were putting face masks on earlier. They seem to be in a place where like a shoulder grab is okay. They're boys. Yeah. Aiden, we don't really know. And Aiden's trying to like bro down. And he's like putting his hand on him. He's like, "Hey, bro, we're going to be fine. Dap me up.
Dap me up.
Don't leave me hanging. Ciati's like, "Okay, this guy's a fucking weirdo. And I asked you to get Gabriella. We're running out of time. Focus on your job. Focus on your fucking job, Aiden."
Yeah.
And Aiden goes to confessional. He's like, Not gonna lie, that really hurt my feelings. So who the fuck is this guy?
These people are fucking nuts.
They're insane, dude. Why would you think that was
Aiden is as
thing?
close to a new Eric as you're gonna get, I think.
Okay, good. I need
So,
a replacement for Eric.
That's where you're gonna go. Yeah.
All right. Because I remember last season, I think our first impression of Eric was this guy seems like he's all about the business. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
wow, this guy's a fucking lunatic. So maybe that's
Yeah.
Aiden's job this year. But again, Bridget's still clueless. So now Anthony's talking to Bridget, trying to figure out, hey, what have you done today? And her response is, why? Did I not do enough for you? Like, what do you want from me? And she's like, no. Literally, what have you accomplished? What time did we get in here? She's like, 2. I don't even know. I don't remember. It's like 2 o'clock is when we're supposed to be in here. I was here at 5 a.m. You got here at 2. You've accomplished nothing. Just listen. When I tell you, say yes, chef, and do your fucking job. Do not go to a confessional and say, I've worked for superior chefs. It's like, well, they're not your chef anymore. This is your chef. Peel the carrot.
There's a reason why you're over here doing this and not working at a Michelin star restaurant anymore. Just saying.
I mean, but that's where I'm like, I'm trying to think of a scenario in which she was in a Michelin star kitchen.
I can't.
Those places are insane.
Yeah.
You can't, if you miss timing, there's like a clock and you got to get everything out.
She even says, like, in the middle of all of this, when she burnt something and she forgot to put the timer on the oven, she goes, I burn stuff all the time. It's never a problem. It's like, where?
At a Michelin star restaurant, you don't burn things. You don't get the star. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So I'm baffled at how she got sous chef, unless Lisa's like, this will be funny. Like,
it could be that. It could also be that her credentials are the same as Ciotti's English accent. It's just it's not there. It's not real.
That's the other thing with this. You don't really know what people told.
Could be made up. She could have just taken a few pictures.
Honestly, she ate at a Michelin star restaurant once and took a picture in the kitchen with the chef. But we get to dinner with Ken, Bo, Stassi, and LVP, and that's where you meet Alyssa, who's a server, and then you get the dinner intro from Anthony. Dinner looks great. I don't buy into the gold-plated food shit.
No, I said that too. Yeah, like a gold-plated baked potato with caviar on top. I'm like, what's that for?
Like, we get it. You're rich and shit, but like, what? It's like there's
gold-plated strawberries. No.
Yeah, in Conchi, there's that like restaurant that serves like the golden cheesesteak or burger. I guess the burger.
Yeah, that was a burger. Yeah, there's a place down here that does the cheesesteak.
That's Capitol Grill, isn't it?
I thought it was Del Frisco's.
Is it Del Frisco? It's probably both of them. Who the fuck knows? Yeah. But it's stupid. I don't need to eat gold. Like, okay, I don't need my Dookie sprinkling. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. What's that from?
Oh, I was thinking of a different thing. I was thinking about Tywin Lannister shitting gold, but you know.
Oh no, that's okay too.
Same thing.
But dinner goes whatever. You know, obviously they ask some weird questions to make sure staff is up for everything. But LVP, do you believe this, or is this her trying to
never eaten ranch before?
Do you believe that?
No,
ever. She's lived in LA for how long?
Also, don't believe when. You know, obviously the first thing that she asks for is ketchup, or Stassi says ketchup. Afterwards, she turns it to tomato sauce. It's like
tomato sauce.
Come on,
you lived it. Yeah, come on. You live in LA. Yeah. You know what ketchup is. Tomato sauce.
Come on.
Oh boy. Well, we get to after service. This was a shocking scene. It was funny. It was just like these guys are so dumb, and they're all in their like 20s and 30s. So it's crazy to me that they talk like this in a public area, and they're sitting there, they're talking about the chicks and boobs and blondes and naturals and like, who are you going for, man? It's like, oh, I'm going for Bridget. Well, what about you, bro? Well, I'm going for Sienna. I want to push our beds closer, and I'm okay with saggy when they're in their 70s and blah blah blah. And then
the only important thing that came from any of this was Andre talking about Gabriella.
Correct.
That's the only thing that really mattered, because everyone else is like, "Ooh, they're talking about it."
It's like
Marciano talking
these
about
are grown people.
Thank God. The only thing that could have made the scene better is if Hannah was standing there too, and Marciano was talking about Bridget. Oh,
well, she would have kicked the door open and been like,
she would have grabbed Bridget by the hair and dragged her into the room and threw her on the ground and says, "Is this who you're talking about?"
Yeah, this bitch. This who you like? Sorry, I need to calm down. My bad. Bridget, you good? I'm out of here. See ya.
All right.
Talk later.
I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta sleep. We'll talk about it in the morning after she fucked somebody up. But no, it's Andre is the only important conversation. And I'm like, all right, okay. After all these dudes are talking about boobs and like sex and shit, like Andre's actually being
Talking about a connection.
talking about connection. He's like not
Still very
totally
confused about it,
sure,
but it's there.
which is fine because he's working through it. I'm like, all right, he's doing pretty good. Gabriella's out there listening, so she knows what's up. You know, she's not loving it, but he still hasn't said anything bad. And then they're like, I get it, bro. You want it because you want to see like who else you can get. He's like, exactly. And she's like, what the fuck? It was so good because I'm like, he's doing great. He's saying all the right things. I'm like, oh, fuck, that ruined it. I think you're done. And
Yeah, you're done.
she even says, she goes, well, we're done now. Like behind closed doors, this man's like, I'll always choose you. He's saying all the right things. And then 1 second with the dudes,
Oh,
and
man.
Andre's a dick.
I just want to know like how much they actually talked in the last year.
I do
There's
too.
no way that they talk that often. They just saw each other again or started talking like a week or two before. Like, hey, you going to Italy? I'll be there.
Quick
We can
check-in.
rekindle a little bit. We'll see how it goes.
There-
I don't know.
I don't either. Maybe we'll get more as the season goes on as far as like where they were. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't really care as long as, you know, it's still
Doesn't matter
entertaining
to
on
me.
him.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter. But Marciano and Bridget are by the pool, chit-chatting. He's, you know, trying to play a game here, trying to reel her in a little bit. And as this is happening, you got Hagen and Hannah upstairs listening over the balcony. And Hagen's like, oh, they're definitely out there. They're definitely talking. And Hannah's like, oh my God, I'm not going to do this again this year. Like, this is not going to happen. I'm a changed
I was
person.
so fucking confused by all of this though. Like Hagen is literally hanging out of the window.
I know.
Like full bore has the screen up with the window hanging out trying to listen
Oh,
to
I
what
thought
they're
there was a
talking about.
little tiny balcony, like one of those you're not really supposed to
Maybe.
go on.
Oh, like yeah, maybe. I don't know, one of those European things. I don't really
Yeah,
understand
you
that.
know,
The
I don't
American
know.
mind can't comprehend.
Oh.
But like he's acting like he could hear everything, and then when they go out there, it looks like it's like a half a mile trek to the
It
pool.
looks like it's on the different side of the property.
It's
There's
like, how
no
do you even know
building
they're
near it.
there?
I don't
All
know.
these trees. I'm like, well, how do you guys even know?
Now
That's
I
got to be a
picture it-
producer like leading in, like, hey, Bridget and Marciano are down there. Just
They're
act
totally
like
up
you're
there.
listening. Just listen for a little bit. Now you got to go walk down this windy ass road to get down there.
Yeah, it was not an easy trek by any means. That's funny you pointed that out because I was like, that seems further than
Yeah.
that, but whatever. But Hannah approaches, and again, she is up until this point. I mean, clearly she's agitated about the whole situation, but has
Mhm.
maintained, I'm over it. I don't care. Whatever.
She's over it.
Do you like her? That's your intro? Do you like her?
You flirting
Like,
with her?
What the fuck? You're not doing this shit again. It's like you're
Told you we would do this.
Technically, you're doing it. Like he's just flirting with somebody else. And look, he's gross.
She pops up like the Grim Reaper and he goes, up, here we go again.
Here we go. Here we go. And again, like his fucking explanation for things is brutal. He's like, I'm trying to get to know everyone this year. And like,
I'm starting here because I've got a strong connection.
I'm not going to
Why?
let anything get between this connection. It's like, you just met this woman yesterday. All you want to do is bang. You don't have a connection. You're attracted to her and you're an idiot. And you haven't changed at all. Hagen, I liked a lot because he's like, all right, get a grip. Like, you come here. What are you doing, Hannah? This is terrible. You need to stop talking to him. But he's like, you know, she seems like a lunatic, like a crazy bitch. And I like that. I usually hang out with the mean girls. So this is a lot of fun for me. But the best part about that scene, because Stassi, you know, is in the room like adjacent and she's like, oh, I definitely heard everything. But the way that the camera works, when they walk away, they zoom in on the bush as though Stassi's like in the bush.
In the bushes. Yeah.
It's like,
yes. She's taking her role very seriously.
That's what they made it seem like. I was like, this is fucking great.
Oh, God,
but instead, she's just like strolling around with like a drink as she like leaves her room later. But we get to bedtime and Sienna is into Siati. They are roommates. He's like going to bed, quote unquote. And he definitely pushed those beds closer together, by the way. There was no space.
Oh my God, dude. There was no space. Yeah.
Which, by the way, if she wasn't into you, is a huge, massive violation to push your bed next to somebody else's. But she was into him. He's into her.
I had the feeling that they talked before they got there.
They
I think
must
he even
have,
said
right?
that. Yeah, I think
Like,
he said
they
like
were-
we made a connection before or something.
That makes me feel better because I was like, you
Yeah.
can't just push your bed closer
No,
because
you
you
can't
want
just
it
do
to
this.
happen. That's
Yeah.
weird. But she, like, he rolls over and she just like taps him on the hand and he like looks at her and she's like, eh. and
Why
they
not?
bang. We get the first bang out of the way. I actually agree with Dominic. We don't need the theatrics.
Nope.
Okay, that was ridiculous. And
It
it's
was
3
fake.
o'clock in the morning. She's calling
Which
him
is
daddy.
apparently not that late at this house.
I was confused by the timing of everything, if I'm going to be honest with you, especially when they did the moon, because at 3:15, you got Bridget, Gabriella, Marciano are drinking in the bar. Stassi is just roaming about the grounds like fucking, what's his name from Harry Potter with Mrs. Filch. What's that dude's name?
Oh God.
Oh,
I
shit.
can't remember his name.
How can I remember Mrs. Filch the cat, but not the name of the owner
Everybody
of the
remembers
cat?
the cat. I don't
And then
remember
in
his name.
Chamber of Secrets that you think Mrs. Filch died. I'm not
Troll
gonna be able to
in the dungeon. Troll in the dungeon.
No, that's not him. That's Professor Quirrell. Come on, dude.
Oh, that was, yeah.
Miss Filch owner. That's embarrassing. I'm just gonna look at Miss Filch.
Yeah, dude, aren't you reading these books with your daughter or something?
Yeah, it's not good. This is bad. Oh, god damn it. Argus Filch. That's just his name. Mrs. Norris. Oh, I called it.
Oh, okay.
Fuck. Filch is his
I was
name.
with you. I was
Mrs.
with
Norris is the cat. All
Yeah.
right. All right. There you go. So Filch. I was close. I'm an idiot. Not close enough. Whatever. But anyway, 4:30 a.m. Still talking. 5:15. Still talking. There's guests coming tomorrow, people.
2 hours.
Marciano, I
by
thought
the
your
way.
job. I know 7:15 is because it says like 2 hours, whatever.
Yep.
But I thought this was a new year. Marciano.
Dude, food and bev people are a different breed.
That's true.
I got tired even seeing that.
So
like,
did
how?
I. And then the
How did
moon
they do this?
goes. Like when
Like,
Bridget
how-
goes, we're going to bed. I'm like, oh my God, I can feel the wake up. You know, when you wake
I
up and you're
wouldn't even
so
you
tired.
don't even go to sleep at that point. You just keep going and then you
You
take a shower.
try, but then you have like that 10-minute where you accidentally fall asleep and then you wake up and you're like, you don't know where you are. You're
I was
kind
thinking
of
like
hungover.
you get that existential dread at one point when you look at the clock too. It just kind of like comes over your whole body, like, ugh.
Then you
what
play
do I
the
do?
game. If I go to sleep now, I get 2 hours. If I go to sleep now, I get an hour and a half. If I go to sleep now, I got to get up. Fuck. Yeah, it made me feel gross. Not gonna lie. But
yeah, I didn't like it.
we get to the morning and Bridget and Anthony have a conversation, much needed conversation. He's like, look, this isn't good. You don't know how to work the oven and you complain about everything and you're losing your train of thought as I'm talking to you right now.
Yep.
And she's like, I've got 100 TVs in my head and 90 of them are playing cats and dogs and funny videos and the other one. And then she hits herself in the head. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
What is happening
There's
right
something
now?
wrong with her.
She's losing her mind. Like she's in real time losing her mind because she's just not equipped for this job.
What's the phrase? Crazy as a bag of cats.
Crazy as a bag of cats. Is that it?
That's her.
Sure.
That's her.
That is. She's like, my brain doesn't work that way. And you can't just tell me what to do. You got to show me what to do. No one else knew how to work the oven. They're not the sous chef, man.
Nope.
You're you need to know this shit. And that's when he's like, dude, I was in the kitchen learning it. You weren't. Like, that's also part of the problem. I don't think that you're good enough at that. She's like, can I just give me 1 sec? And she walks, she's like, cameras. And she gets to like the entryway and she just loses it. She has like a full-blown panic attack. I'm sorry, but if you're the sous chef, like,
what did she say to the producers? I'm having a full-blown adult panic attack.
A full-blown adult panic attack.
Good to differentiate.
Look, we're sympathetic here to panic attacks and anxiety and all those things, but you're just not
in this show
qualified for this job.
This show's different. I don't care as much.
I don't care as much either, and especially like you're not qualified for this, and it's quite evident. So maybe they'll find something else for you. I don't really know. You've seen the second episode. Don't spoil it, but. We're almost at the end of this, and Bo and Stassi go on a date, and this is the kind of weird other dynamic that I didn't know was going to be a part of the show. Is you're actually going to watch them,
show.
Yeah, kind of navigate where they're at in life, and not a whole lot happens. I've always loved Bo, and like when he was back on DVR,
it's just promotion for their show. That's all I'm like thinking.
That's what
when
it
I
looks
watch this.
like.
I'm like,
right?
Okay, so it's also going to be on Hulu, and they're like, how do we look? I don't think you have to drum up a ton of interest when it comes to Stassi. A lot of people are going to check into that anyway, and a lot of people like Bo too. So it's going to work out fine. But I think this is just like a stepping stone. Like, hey, did you like this? You're going to like it a lot more when we have the show.
It's like the last episode of Vanderpump Rules that leapt Frog into the valley.
Yeah.
That's kind of, if we know anything about LVP, she loves a good crossover to start a new show.
She
So
does.
that's what you get here, because you had the same thing with Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and Brandy Glanville, and that was the first episode of Vanderpump Rules. Is she goes to the bar because Sheener banged Brandy's husband. There's a little callback for everybody there, but the whole conversation pretty much boils down to Bo needs his thing. He doesn't have a thing because Stassi's been so successful. He's been following her around. He's a stay-at-home dad, from what it sounds like, which is important. It's great. I don't look down on that by any means, but I don't think he's even approaching it that way, where it's like he's the man and he needs a job. I think he just wants a thing. He feels like he doesn't have his thing.
Well, it
and
sucks too
Stassi,
because he's a Rams fan too. So like, there's no happiness really there.
Well, no one's really a Rams fan unless you're from St.
Yeah,
Louis.
I think he actually is, based on what I've seen. He seems like he's an actual. I think he's from like the Midwest too, so I think he carried over.
Oh, so is he like an OG Rams, and then he followed them to LA?
Lived in LA, yeah.
That I will condone. Rams fans that are just LA Rams fans, I don't believe you.
No,
I don't believe you at all. So I will trust the people that stuck with them from St. Louis. That's fine. But yeah, just needs his thing. But anyway, we get to LVP and Anthony to end the episode out. And he's just going through the Bridget shit that she's unequipped for this job. There's no skill. Her attitude sucks. She can't turn on a fucking oven. So she calls Bridget in. I had anxiety during this fucking scene. She is just a mess. She's like, she's trying not to cry. And Lisa's like, you know, what the fuck is going on? And she tries to pull at her heart a little bit. And she's like, you know, I took this role for granted. I was just so excited to see gold sous chef on my jacket. It's like the orchestra plays, and then it's like,
you know, one thing about Lisa too, she is not sympathetic when it comes to shit like this at all.
No,
she's just sitting there like sipping her drink, staring her down, like, what are you crying about? What's
you need to
I don't get it.
Figure it the fuck out, man, because this is not going to be how we're going to roll this year. And as she said at the beginning, the gloves are off this season. she let these people get away with everything last year.
Yeah.
They are the worst staff in the history of staffs, other than Chef Anthony. He's good at his job. And then his sous chef last season was great. Caroline, I believe.
Yeah, she was awesome. Yeah,
she was awesome. Other than that, no one's good at what they do, which is what makes this show so goddamn good. And the only thing that can cap it off is like the credit scenes is fucking Hagen dressing up and then acting as Hannah was fucking hilarious. So he's going to be a star. This show's just as good as I need it to be. It's everything that I wanted it out of a first episode. I'm so happy it's back. And yeah, we'll figure out the way that we're going to do this. But yeah, 10 out of 10 first episode.
Yeah, I think for every maybe like third episode that we do, we'll probably do questions just like as a catch up. The problem with a show like this, you know, we kind of thought about it and talked about it. When we put out questions, you guys just can't help yourself. Like we'll have spoilers. You'll be like, what do you think about Marciano doing this? Didn't see it. Thanks for the spoiler.
Yeah, you guys go 7 episodes ahead and then you ruin the show for us. All right. People get mad at us for spoiling the show that we're recapping. You guys actually spoil it, you know? So yeah, it's tough to put the questions out, but as far as the show goes, we'll probably group a couple together. If there's like a banger of an episode, it'll be a standalone, but we'll get them out pretty quickly. We'll be done the season within the
next like 2 weeks probably. We'll probably have it all out.
We'll make sure you guys have them all out, so we know that it'll lose its luster after a little while. But yeah, if you're listening still and you have not watched this show, this is one of those ones like we kept telling people at Southern Hospitality. And it took you guys 3 seasons to get into it.
Yeah,
this is the same shit. It's a different type of show, but holy shit, it's
fantastic.
Fun. It's just fun. But yeah, excited for the rest of it. You got anything else?
Nope.
That's our show, bros. We gotta go.